Kumite Radio for you bitches. And today we have another special guest. We always have special guests all the time. And we have another one, a familiar face to a lot of people that have been around in Southeast Asia. Introduce yourselves, familiar face.
Man, that was an intro. Special guest. That's me. Alex Schild here on Kumite Radio. Yeah, stoked. How's that my intro? I mean, you give me such a good lead up with a special guest. I don't know what to say.
No doubt.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex?
What do you want to know, George? I got lots of stories to tell you.
Tell the listeners who you are and what you're about.
Who I am. Alex Schild, MMA flyweight, fighting, training at a Tiger Muay Thai here in Phuket, and also one of the jiu-jitsu coaches here in Tiger. Lived in Phuket 5.5 years coming up, something like that, and been at Tiger the whole time, so going good.
Welcome.
Awesome. When are you fighting next, man?
I believe next month, August 20 something or another. I'm going to be fighting in China for some show I don't know the name of, in some city I don't know the name of, but hey, that's what happens when you go to China. So
Oh, really? You don't know the name of the show?
No, I got no idea, man. Come on. This was pretty good for China. I mean, usually we get it like a few weeks out. All right, in the years that I've been fighting pro out here and lived in Thailand, I've only fought in China twice. I lost both times. One of them was on a week's notice, so at a weight class up. So this one at my weight class with like 8 weeks notice, like I'm stoked. I'm cool. So I don't really got to worry about the name of the city until I go to the airport. But yeah, it's usually how it is. Like we get these fights on like last minute notice, and you go to China and you figure out where you're going when you hand them the passport, you know? So this one I'm pretty stoked about. I'll figure out the name sooner or later, but.
How long is usually the flight? When you flew out to China, how long did it take?
So it's usually like 2 flights. Like you probably fly to like Guangzhou or maybe somewhere else, like Shenzhen or something, and then you usually fly from there to somewhere else, or you got to drive a few hours. So first flight's probably like 4 hours, and then you can probably get to anywhere. If you're in central China, like, or central East Coast China, you could probably get anywhere else, 2-hour flight, something like that, 3 hours. So yeah, you always get a nasty layover somehow. So maybe the first flight's 4 hours and the second one's 2 hours, but usually you get these like crazy 10 or 12 hour long layovers, which sucks and makes it harder to convince someone to go corner you, People are worried about the layover. Like once you get there, it's all chilling, but you're in the airport, for 10 hours with no Wi-Fi and no Facebook. It's real sad. So
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, I know.
But seriously, every time I get offered like to fight and go China, like I feel bad asking someone to corner me because I'm like, yo, they're gonna be like, where are you going? And like, yo, we got friends that fight. Like, my last fight was in Korea, So I asked George, what's he gonna say? And those of you don't know, George is my corner man. And what is he gonna say when you ask, hey man, you want to go to Seoul? He's like, hell yeah, I go to Seoul. But when he's like, I'm like, hey man, let's go to Chongqing, China. He's like, oh man. I think I got something going on that weekend, So.
Hey, is Chongqing, China? Is that northern China or southern China?
Chongqing's terrible. That was the first time I was there.
Yo, that's not even racist though. Like, listen, I don't know what part of China that's from. I didn't want to say something fucked up, so I said a city I know that sounds funny. But Ching Chong, China, yo, like, fucking Emilio fought over there before. Like, he just showed up in the.
It's Chongqing, but yeah, we fought there together. It's terrible.
What? For real, the name is Chongqing?
Yeah, and the whole time I kept calling it Ching Chong because I kept messing it up. Like I wasn't doing it on purpose either.
It's not even like, you think you'd say that just like taking the piss, like, but that's what it's called, like, So yeah, it makes it a bit tougher to find cornermen, but it's all good. We'll figure it out.
You ever hear that joke about like Chinese people? That when they but this one is like when they make if I say it on the show it's all right because I'm kind of the closest to Chinese. So when a new kid is born, away. You know how they name their kid?
Yeah, pots and pans.
Oh damn.
But you know what? Chongqing, China, that's a real place. So you know what? Like
That's not racist, of course. But I never been there. I never even knew about this place, so I thought it was super racist. But I guess not now. Maybe I gotta go
Nah,
check it
actually,
out.
I think I might be lying. I think I might be fighting in Shenzhen or something like that, which I think is like
Way better.
third tier city. I mean, it's some people haven't heard of it, but it's still 10, 15 million people there. It's crazy, but
But still, like I look at China as, when like in North America when it wasn't undiscovered. It's like
yeah,
you guys, the foreigners that are fighting in Asia, are kind of
yeah.
doing what the frontiermen did in North America, going over there to these areas and like checking it out and mapping it out and seeing what's there and like coming back
You know
and telling
what?
stories and shit,
I
right? And
like that,
everybody's like,
yo. I
really?
like
We
that. We're
have
pioneers, yo. I like it. I like that.
yeah. You guys, a
We're
lot
on
of
a
you
journey.
guys are kind of pioneers for like the foreigners when you guys go over to China and fight, because like you said, there's Chongqing, China, and who would know that there was a place called Chongqing, China, right? Unless you
Hey, no,
guys come back and tell us.
for real, no. Like Americans actually we get 10-year visas to China. In most cases, we get 10-year working visas. If you go there to fight, they let you work and you make money. So like, man, a bunch of us have been there like a handful of times, 4 or 5. This is like my 12th trip to China. Like, and what a surreal experience. Go find out these cities about Chongqing. So it's pretty cool. But you're right, yeah.
Do you eat the food on the street?
Yo, that's suspect. So, story for a different time. I actually lived in China for about 6 months when I was in school, but that was one of the hardest parts about China. And this was 6 years ago. I mean, I think things have changed, but the food is rough, and especially like a city like that, like especially the street food, like yeah, it's a bit rough, and it's not catered to foreigners at all because there's not a big foreign population. So um, yeah,
So you never was fucking with the food on the street, because like when I went to China one time for a long trip, like about a little bit over a week, and I went to all
mm,
these cities. And
mm.
whenever I go to the cities, I never ate on the street. The reason why is because the streets smelled so bad. I don't understand how you could eat in the street. Can't taste your
So
That's
food.
bad.
pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah, no, that's totally accurate. But I don't know. Like you're traveling, you're like, all right, I'm gonna try something, but
I
I
ate
don't know,
It's
man.
hard. It's
I
hard.
ate street food and I think Qingdao the
Mm,
last time I think it was the last time I was in China, and the only reason I ate street food was because one of our trainers, previous trainers, Lyman Kron, he was he was living in China and he just happened to like show up at my fight and I didn't even know he was coming, but he was there. And then he like went out with us afterwards and we ended up like eating street food and he was like looking at the guy like this the whole time. He was like rubbing his beard like literally like 6 inches away from the grill, like all drunk and stuff. And it wasn't actually like that wasn't too bad, but like if I was in Chongqing, I would not eat street food because I've been there and I've seen it and it's not something I would want to eat.
yeah,
Well,
I mean, and when you go there for fights, like you're trying not to get sick, like you're trying to cut weight, you're trying to like, cut out the sodium and stuff. So like you just stay away from it anyway. And then after you fight, like that's not what I'm reaching for. I'm looking for the candy bar and a beer or something. I'm not looking for that.
Right.
do
But
you guys use distilled water?
no, never.
You don't use
I have
distilled water?
before.
You have
I've
before?
only done yeah, I've done it once or twice, but usually like I don't really need to. But
A lot
even
of,
at that, like cutting weight there is just not easy.
well, what about at the hotels? Shouldn't the hotels be decent?
Yeah, but it depends on where you're at. Like if you're in Beijing, yeah, it's okay. Somewhere like that. But Chongqing, again, no, it's not all right.
Yo,
Yeah.
hey, no, but for real, I've been there way too many times, and it's because I have that 10-year visa that like people are like, "Yo, Alex, you got to go," and I'm like, and I have to. But yeah, you will. I remember at one time, and you'll get like it's so crazy. It's so crazy about China, like all the money there is in combat sports, and all these different shows happen every weekend. I go to some random K1 show a few years ago when Joe Ray fought, and the hotel was sick, like saunas, pools, all you can eat buffets, like Western, Chinese, everything, like Brazilian barbecue, like the whole deal, and it was all covered. And then I've been to places where like it's just terrible. Like you're eating in like a makeshift like restaurant, and it's just real bad food. There's no saunas, there's no hot water. I've been in places no Wi-Fi. I mean, like, so it's real hit or miss. Like you got to be prepared. Like you got to be prepared to like have it just be the worst. But
Yeah, like the Wi-Fi thing. Like I try to contact people in China, and it's just like I'll
that's
message
crazy.
them or I'll do something online with them, and then they'll get back to me like sometimes right away, but then sometimes it'll be like the next day, and they're like, hey, I couldn't get in any Wi-Fi, or the hotel in my room, at the hotel gets Wi-Fi like half the day. It's like, how do you get Wi-Fi half the day?
Yo, but that's their answer. That's what they tell you. They tell you that. It's crazy.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Man,
But I'm pretty sure it's a lot better than it was a few years back.
Oh, absolutely. Like, for sure. I mean, definitely a lot better. But, yo, speaking about, like, being able to get back on your phone, I remember, like, so I had a VPN so I could get on Facebook, and I was fighting. It was weigh-in day, and I was, like, in bed, like, trying to get focused and shit. And then I could get on Facebook for, like, 30 seconds. And I see that, like, somebody, like, one of the boys had put up, like, a real embarrassing picture of me. It was my brother. He put up, like, a really embarrassing picture of me from, like, my bar mitzvah when I was, like, 13, and I just looked like such an idiot. But I could only get on long enough to realize that all of Facebook was fucking with me. Like, I'm talking like, yo, and I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't delete the picture. I couldn't, like, see what was going on. And this thing had more comments and likes, and I just weighed in that day. Like, had more comments and likes than a picture of me weighing in, and I couldn't get back online. And I'm just, like, looking at my phone like, turn on. Oh, man. That was funny.
That is
China.
funny. Yeah.
Yo, now we're talking about this. You're making me want to regret my decision about going back to China, yo.
No, man, you gotta go make your money, man. You gotta get your experience, right?
Yeah, for sure. It is what it is. Like, it's a crazy experience. It's fucking awesome. It could be really good or bad or in the both. But man, either way, it's like it's a fucking what a cool experience, So you just got to make the best out of it.
Yeah, that's something that's cool about being a fighter, especially being in this area of the world, because there's so many different countries and so many different cultures. So when you do get a fight in a country that you're not native to, you're always going to get a new story. You're always going to get a new experience, right?
It's the best, man. Of course there's a lot of jobs you travel for your job and all this and all that, but man, there's people who are willing to pay me in my corner, man, me and a friend of mine, to go experience a new country and do what we love to do and perform and put on the show and, like, entertain, like, obviously it's, it's fighting, you're at their mercy, but man, you're going to travel the world with your best friends. Like, yeah, man, can't complain too much. It's not so bad, man.
So say, Alex, like you said, you get a fight in Korea and you tell the people in your camp, like, hey man, I got a fight. It's going to be in Korea. Are people like coming to you to be your corner?
No, I'm just telling everyone I'm going.
That's pretty true. But you know what? It's funny you say it like that because, like, like, we have to gym. Like, there's always, like, a buzz and there's always people talking. Everyone's got something coming up. So, like, who's got, like, the cool trip, So, like, you will be like, oh, man, like, who you taking? Like, it's so funny. And, like,
how many quarterbacks you could have, right?
Yo, man, it's not even funny, bro. Like, when you find out someone's fighting in China, like, I'll just kind of, like, avoid them. Like, I'll avoid them for, like, a day or two, like, and hope that they ask somebody else. But then usually everyone just, like, relies on me to do it because I got a visa. But, that's true, People do that, There's some I don't want to go to.
That's pretty funny that in a camp you got so many people fighting, but then you're, like, trying to – if you're not fighting yourself, you're trying to see, like, where can I go? Somebody else.
We've had it like that where, like, maybe, me and George, we corner a lot of people, and, sometimes we're busy, or we'll be, like, to one of the fighters who'd never been out of Thailand. They came to Thailand. They never been anywhere else. We're like, hey, man, like, do you want to go corner? Like, you'll get to do this great experience, So at the end of the day, even if I have to go on a trip that I won't want to, what a cool trip, what a cool experience. Like, traveling's awesome regardless, So
yeah, imagine you guys, maybe one of your guys will end up fighting in, like, what is that one promotion? EFC in South Africa. Would you go?
Yeah. I would be game for that for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. We have a lot of guys fighting in that, bro. A lot of guys. We have a few guys, like 3 or 4 guys that we know that fight in that one. But yeah, man.
Let's talk about a guy that I think Alex, you're pretty close with. You know him. Is Shay Walsh. He just fought.
Yeah.
So what's up with that? Like, tell us something. Like, insider.
Yeah, I mean, Shay's definitely one of my closest friends. Like, one of the guys that, I'm not just on the team, but on the outside, like, we, definitely a close friend of mine. So, because he's fighting in England. So, anyone who doesn't know, he fought for the BAMMA Bantamweight title, which he used to have the title, lost it, and then, climbed his way back and really earned that shot. And this is a big time for him. And, So when they fight in England, it's 3, 4, 5 in the morning. He's the main event. And Saturday morning here in Phuket was a pretty rough wake up to check my phone, and the first thing I see on my phone is that Shay got his jaw broken. And I know Shay had broken his jaw a few years ago. So yeah, so right when that happened, it was already a few hours after it. I actually woke up and FaceTimed him right away. And so by the time I talked to him, he was in the hospital waiting to have surgery, and his parents and brother had gone. It was already, the show probably ended at midnight. It was 3 or 4 in the morning at that point. So, yeah. So just about the fight. I mean, just details on the fight was that, in like the 3rd minute of like the first round, he got like kicked in the leg and kind of fell to his knees. And as he was like popping up back up to like stand back up, the guy he was fighting kicked him. So it was a soccer kick. He was completely grounded, like just went like a front kick, like right to the face, cracked him in the jaw. He stood up and the ref stopped it. And the doctor came in and noticed that Shay's jaw was broken, and they stopped the fight. And they actually called it a no contest, because
which was bullshit.
Which is the wrong call. But it was an illegal strike that forced him not to continue. It in no way, and you watch the video, you can watch everything. Like, it would no way was Shay said to anybody, "I'm done." He points to his mouth because he knows that the jaw's broken, and the doctor comes in and sees it as broken, and and any doctor would call that off if somebody had a broken jaw, hurt or foul or not, soccer kick, legal, whatever it is. If the ref or the doctor came in and noticed that, they're going to call the fight off. It was completely out of Shay's hands at that point, and yeah, they called it a no contest, which really should be a DQ. But you know what, like, and I was talking to one of our guys about this today. Like, even if it was, I saw people online after that, they're arguing DQ, no contest, Shay should have continued, like all this crap. But all that doesn't matter because Shay broke his jaw. He's out for at least a year.
Right.
So winning it, if they called it a DQ and Shay won, number one, Shay don't want to win the belt like that. And anyone that knows
Right.
Shay knows that Shay is one of the most game guys.
He's a tough dude.
I mean, yeah, like, then that's, like, man, that guy, man, that guy had fought with a broken jaw before, knew it was broken in between rounds. His brother told him to keep his mouth shut, keep it quiet so the doctor couldn't see. Fought a whole nother round and won that round. And then later when he opened his mouth, the doctor was looking and saw and stopped the fight. I mean, that guy, man. So regardless of illegal or not, which I believe is clearly illegal.
Yeah,
The kid's jaw is broken for a year, and it's absolutely.
And John, the shit part is like, man, like, yeah, like, whatever, people like talk shit, but like the things that people were saying, like, I'm assuming they're like the Irish fans or whatever, because that's where he was from, right, Alex?
Yeah, it was in Dublin too.
Yeah, so like the things that the people were saying, man, it was just like one of my friends, Kev, who used to train at Tiger, fights Muay Thai. He like messaged me and was like, man, did you see what people were saying? Like, it's so, like, the stuff they were saying, the word he used, I think, was like grotesque. Like, it was so bad. Like, the things that people were saying, like, well, even the guy like tagged Shay and was like, saying like, you took this away from me. Like, no, asshole. Like, you knocked him down with a leg kick, and then like there was like a second pause or however long it was, and then like you kicked him in the face, which, okay, even if it was like you didn't do it on purpose, like, how can you still tag the guy in that and be like, you took this away from me, this was my moment, and da 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 da. But even outside of that, like, the things that other like fans and like, I'm assuming people and like trolls that are friends with him that they were saying, excuse me, it was so ridiculous. Like, just like mean things that like I would never even, like, even if I really did not like someone, like if I despised someone, I would never publicly go on, a website and say that kind of stuff. Like, it was really ridiculous.
I couldn't believe it,
man. That's the internet.
That's also the thing too. I was saying to Shay, I talked to Shay when I saw that shit. And so the fucked up thing is what he's talking about. Shay in the hospital went live from the BAMMA page and was like, hey guys, my jaw's broke. Just explain the situation. The fucking kid is in the hospital. Just fucking did everything for people's entertainment. Got his jaw broken in 2 places. Isn't crying about it. Isn't bitching. Just saying, hey, what's going on? And that's when people started ripping into him. But you're right, man. It's the internet. I told Shay, I was like, yo, that just means you're on a big stage. If you have all these people eyes on you, that just means you're not watching them. They're watching what you're doing, and you know,
And the thing that sucks is like, even if like, because it was how many minutes into the first round?
3 minutes.
Right. Even let's say the guy, like, because I think he was getting the better of Shay, but like Alex and I know Shay very well. Like, he is as tough as they come, he's as hard as they come, and he's a good fighter. Like, if that wouldn't have happened, man, that whole fight could have been different. Like, because Shay's the type of kid at any moment he can change the fight, you know? And that's like, obviously, the worst part is that, you know, he has a broken jaw. He's out of work now for a year and he's got a family and stuff. But you know, hopefully he gets that rematch and, you know, he comes back stronger and we can see that again, because it's for that to happen like in 3 minutes of the first round, like that really sucks.
You
For
know, like,
sure.
I don't know if maybe someone got in that guy's ear or he had a few like Irish whiskeys or whatever, but like if you actually I watched his post-fight speech, the kid, his backstage speech, and they're asking him, and he was super respectful actually right after the fight. He said, he acknowledged it. He goes, "It was my fault. I kicked him. I caused this." He's like, you know, he's acknowledging it sucks, but he's like, I think Shay's a great fighter. I really look up to Shay. Super respectful. And not like 30 minutes later, an hour later, all of a sudden he's making these comments about Shay. And it's like, whatever. Think what you want, but what's the point, man? The point is this guy can't provide for his family, can't work, can't do everything he's achieved for a year. His jaw's broken. It's not like or the ref made a bad call, or you know, the ref thought he, like, you know, what happened last week with Mario Yamasaki, where, you know, Kevin Lee is saying he took that away from me because he wanted us to get the submission, right? I mean, it's not the same at all, you know. And
Yeah, it's different, man. Like if someone has a broken jaw, it's like having a broken arm. You know, it's like having a broken leg. You can't continue if the doctor sees that shit. No matter what, you could say I'm gonna fight, but they're not gonna let you continue, man. It's just
Right.
you did that.
they just
You did
gotta
that.
once
It's
he's all
illegal.
healed up, they just gotta run it back. That's all you can do with a situation like this. But the people hating, that is just the internet, man, and you can't be on the internet after shit like that, or you're just gonna get shit in your mind that is not gonna
Yeah.
be good for yourself. And but like you said, if people are hating, that means that you are doing something right, because that's when you get more fans, is when people hate, because people hate and then people love. So
You got these thousands and hundreds of people or whatever that are watching him. They're watching him. It's not the other way around. Shay's not watching you sit on your couch. So,
exactly.
you know, I mean, it just is what it is. But you see it, when you see it firsthand, when it's like a really good friend of yours, like, you know. So it is what it is. And he's always had a really good mind. He's in good spirits. But, you know,
Is he with Tiger Muay Thai?
Shay?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
one of the guy. He's one of your guys. He just he's out there most of the time.
Now he has a family, so he kind of comes and go. He always comes to prepare for his fights.
Okay.
But him and I did the tryouts at the same time, like him, myself, and Volkanovski, which I did say that right as well. I always mess that up. But we all did the tryouts together, and Shay was like one of the winners as well, man. And he's like, him and Volk and myself, like we've all been here out of that group like the whole time. Well, obviously I'm here all the time, but you know, those two guys come back all the time before they fight. And even when they don't fight, like they even arrange like holidays to come together sometimes. So they're here a good bit of, you know, a good chunk of the year. So yeah, he's definitely one of the guys.
Alex, you've probably been there the longest out of everybody, right?
Yeah, weird. Somehow it happened. Yep.
And you know, like from when you first started, because there's always been big names at your camp, right? Always been big coaches, you know, good coaches, and then they, you know, sometimes, you know, like everything, there's changes that happen, right? But what do you think of the group of guys that you have right now with you, like the coaches, the fighters, and then do you see more like bigger names coming in now compared to before?
So I've been here since like late 2011, and for sure when I came at that point, like Tiger was definitely like a thing, like, you know, real guys that really trained, that been around for a while, like knew about Tiger, but it wasn't as big as it is now, and there wasn't really like at that point when I got there late 2011, by April, the guys who are the wrestling coaches and the MMA coaches, that was JJ Ambrose and Ray Elby at the time, they were gone. So like I became friends with those guys kind of, but I was more friends with like some of the fighters and some of like the guests that were there at that time, like people that were coming in. And so they had left. And so it kind of left like a weird like space where it was like people weren't in Phuket in that year, like that time, like people weren't really like deciding to live here. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, there wasn't like a group of dudes or whatever, like a group of local expat fighters, especially, that like really lived here. So like, it was kind of weird. It was like up in the air. Like, I came out like a unique time, like right when I had graduated college. So like, I wasn't totally sure what I was going to do. So like, I had this kind of like open-ended thing where I didn't have like a mortgage or a dog or anything like that back home. So like, at that point, like when more and more people started coming, it was kind of like, you look at each other and be like, hey, like, you going to stay here? Like, you want to stay here? Like, are we doing this? Are we staying here? And we didn't really know. And then it was really the year that the biggest year for the whole thing that has really led up to like now is that the 2014 tryouts, or maybe it was after that. Maybe it was the 2015 tryouts, George.
No, I was 14, but they had one before that.
Yeah. So, okay. So the 14 was probably the big one. In 2013, there was a big tryouts, and that was guys like Kai Car France, Ben Nguyen, Cody Stevens, Danny Mitchell, and one other guy. But yeah, like at that point, like, and I was here during all that, like that was cool, but like everyone kind of like was on their own, and the coaching was kind of separate from that, and like it was great, but it wasn't really like so much of like a cohesive team. Like, I don't want to say like it wasn't a team, like we all trained together and we all got along fine, but it was really like the year that George, Shay, Alex Volkanovski, who else?
Gregory, Oleg.
And Oleg won that year. And that year was really like the year of like people saying like, all right, like, we're going to live here. And it's always kind of up in the air again. Like, people are like always have plans. People are always coming and going. But so that crew of like starting around then, those are the people that like we're still really tight with right now. Like, those are the people that we're really close with. And, the other guys moved on and did very well in their careers. Kai's done very well, Ultimate Fighter. Ben, man, like top 10 ranked UFC right now. Everyone's done really well, but this crew like really kind of stuck together. And this is the time Woody came on as coach. Roger was here as a coach. Like, we were all like, it wasn't just like a place we came to train and then went home. Like, this, like, that's when it started to become like, these are like the people I spend all my time with. These are the people I live with. These are people I eat with. These are people we fight with. And we were all getting like higher profile fights around the same time. And so that's really the team that's really led until now. And obviously all these other people have joined and people that we're really close with. But man, the group of people that's around now, I mean, I'm really proud that like you look at like, Facebook will come up on our memories or whatever, like Throwback Thursday. And we'll see like pictures of all of us doing the exact same shit. Might have been in a different building at Tiger. We might have had some different shirts on, but like, I'll look at those pictures and I'll be like, man, like that's actually a team of people that have been here. And so the time right now, and of course we have so many other high profile fighters, like people coming through, but man, the team of people that have been here since at least like the past 3 years, like it's the best. It's why we've all stayed. It's why I'm sure why George has stayed. It's why I've stayed. Why a lot of these guys have not just made this like a place we come to visit. So,
well, I guess having that core makes people want to stay then, because then you develop those relationships, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely, like, we have like a really cool core group of guys who like are here full time. And then we have the guys like Shay, like George was saying, Shay and Volko, who used to be here all the time, but now they're doing other stuff. But those are guys that come back every 3 months, every 6 months, stuff like that. So
those are the guys that developed, like got married and had families, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And, that actually happened here. It was like really cool stories. Like, they were both in the same tryout year, and then both of their girlfriends were here, and then they both had babies around the same time. Alex won his AFC belt and PXC belt around the same time. She had won a BAMMA belt, like
Babies and belts.
babies and belts. That's what they called it. But yeah, they had other things going on. And look, Thailand isn't for everybody. Like, it's tough to it's tough to live here, and but there's a few people that have really decided to like not just give it a go, like have a good good time. But
like for Alex and I, this is like, it's not only is it like our livelihood, but like we both care very much about the team, but we both like really love Thailand, and we like love Thai culture, and it's like we love helping. Like, man, Alex, and especially Alex, because he's been helping. Like, he has a class just for like Thai kids, man, that are like, they're all under 20, but there's like 5 or 6 of them. and like he helps them on Saturdays, like on his day off and stuff. And we have other top fighters and like people that are that are doing MMA now, and we really love like Thai culture and stuff. So it's not like us two together are a little bit different than a lot of the other people that come here that have like foreign girlfriends or like don't like really get, I guess, like immersed in the Thai culture like we are. So it's a little bit different for us, but it's as you were saying, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
You know, like
everybody has a different story, man, and their story is you guys have a invested interest in each other's careers and helping each other
Right.
out, but then they go back to their original country and live there. But when it's time to get down, when it's time to get ready, they come
Right.
back because they know where it's happening.
Yeah.
Right. So
And I
you
think
guys are like there. You guys are like Tiger. Like I look at it as you guys are like 100% there.
yeah, we're all in, bro. Like
Yeah.
we live here, we're all in. But it's good, man. Like in the recent time, like there's a lot of good things happening. You know, we got like a lot of up and coming top fighters that are doing really good at like both Top and Top Noi. They're both doing great. We have another girl that's coming back soon that hasn't even fought MMA, but she's gonna be good. We got a bunch of up and comers that like some of them are gonna fight MMA, some of them may just do jujitsu. That are all top people, but it's but outside of that, like even the people that we have, the names that we have coming to train here, and it's an exciting time. Like, man, like you can hear it like on the UFCs and stuff. Like, Tiger's been mentioned a lot recently, and it's not because of one or two people. It's because of like all the guys that we have here that are that are putting the effort forward and getting better, and everyone has the same common goal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just saw that Nikki Holskin was there. Is he still there?
Nah, he's gone now, man. But he does want to come back to do his training camp. I spoke with him quite a bit, and
Yeah.
he's
I saw
very
the video of him and Dave LeDuc like doing a little work, and I was like, get Nikki Holskin with that left
yeah.
way.
Nah, man. Nikki, he told me because like I just reached out to him through through a friend, like a common friend, and it was just like randomly on Twitter, and man, he like I sent him my DM'd him and sent him my information, and he messaged me, and we got him there, and like they obviously put him in like Tiger gear and stuff, and he trained him and his son quite a bit. Like obviously his son trained more than he did because he has just fought recently. But man, like he trained 4 or 5 times and enjoyed it, and he wants to come back and do his next camp here is what he told me. So hopefully that's that's the case, and we would love to have him. But the cool thing is, he was asking me about MMA, like how long, just kind of like hinting, like, oh, how long do you think it would take me? And I think because like recently Gokhan got signed, so that would be cool.
Oh, definitely, man. Like
Yeah.
if Gokhan can get signed, why Nikki Holskin can't get signed? I don't understand.
Right.
That would.
hey, when
Yeah.
is that happening? By the way, when is Gokhan Saki fighting?
He's not. I heard he's fighting at ACB or something. I heard that he was fighting at some other
Hey,
promotion.
that could very well be the case. Maybe the UFC signed him, but they're going to make him get like a fight somewhere else. Like I've heard of like similar stuff like that before.
Yeah.
Weird.
Rumblings on the internet say that he's fighting in Russia or something like that. So, the UFC is a new ownership, so you don't know what's going to happen with these
Right.
contracts that they're giving out now, especially Gokhan Saki, who is 0-1 in MMA.
Yeah, that takes some balls, man, to go UFC 0-1 and put your name out there like that. I mean, because kickboxing fans, of course, everyone knows who he is. But
Right.
the average MMA fan or the average person who's going to watch MMA on Fox Sports on a Saturday,
Right.
they never heard of this guy. And the first time they see this guy's name, like, he
Yeah.
better look good. You better look good,
Yeah, exactly. So, Alex, everybody knows about the story in Asia about Battlefield, not paying the fighters, but you're one of the fighters that fought on Battlefield on the card in Seoul, and you got paid. So can you tell your story so some people that did not get paid, they have some encouragement, they have some positive vibes? Can you tell?
Hey, well, if somebody's listening that did not get paid, I don't know if they want to hear me talk, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, yeah, so I'm sure you guys have talked about it. You guys already know the story. You've heard it from Joe. We went to Battlefield. It was their first show. And just like any other contract, especially in Asia, like Asia's got a pretty big reputation with paying you in cash the same day. Like I don't think I've ever heard a story like, or any like scare story of someone not getting paid. Like I've just not even heard it. So it didn't even cross my mind. Right. So we go there, we fight, we come back, totally normal, come back to the hotel. And usually what happens is you come back to the lobby and they're like, hey guys, go get showered. And we're going to call you at 11 p.m. and you're going to come down and you pick up your money. Like, so yeah, okay, whatever. And usually we get paid in cash. It's just a standard. Like, and I read the contract. Like when I signed the contract, and I read the whole thing. It just says you're going to get paid this to show, this to weigh in on this day and this day and this day. It didn't say anything about time limits when you're going to get paid. It didn't say anything about bank transfers, anything. And all of a sudden, so anyways, we get down to the lobby and you know, of course, some guy in a suit is there and he's like, hello guys. And we're still sweaty, man. We're still in our fight gear. And he goes, we're going to need your bank information. We're going to need your account number, your SWIFT code, the address, phone number to reach you at, and this and this and this and this. And we're like, for what? He's like, we can't pay you today. And we're all, of course, man, we're all just like, what do you mean you can't pay us? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, we have to send you a transfer. And like, everything's real confusing. You got, you know, we had like 24 dudes in a lobby. Half of us won, half of us lost. So half of us are in a really good mood and want to go buy a beer. And half of us just want to go, you know, sit in bed and cry. He's like, we're going to send you money and there's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? Especially we're in a foreign country. Like, what, am I going to raise my voice at this guy? Am I going to yell at him and muscle him down? I mean, there's nothing I could do. So I was able to call my girlfriend who was at home and gave me all the information I needed. I gave it to him. I gave him my WhatsApp and very polite. You know, I didn't, you know, whatever. Like, I don't, you know, want to be the guy in the lobby that's, you know, throwing a temper tantrum and you're the last to get paid. So I was just very polite, shook his hand and, you know, smiled and walked away pissed off, you know, but yeah. And I mean, just even, I'm sure you guys have talked about it a lot of times, but just to mention like, that sucks. I mean, I know like obviously big organizations where you go through the formal routes of paying taxes and bank transfers and all that stuff, they let you know in advance. It's understood. I have no problem with that. It's understood. Like, okay, you're going to fight, you're going to get paid. But you know, a lot of times like fighters, we spend all our money going up to the fight. Like we're eating the healthy food. We're buying that distilled water. We're getting those massages, all that stuff. Like I went to Korea because I wanted to do everything to win. Right. So I went there with like, man, I had like $100 in my pocket. No joke. I had like $100 and I ended up winning and I bought
baby.
Yeah, it was whatever it was. Like I had nothing, you know, and I want to go there and I'm bringing my cornerman and shit. And like, you know, of course, what I want to do, like, I want to go out and celebrate and eat good food and not look at the price. I want to buy my cornerman a beer. I want to like, just, you know, treat everyone that's been with me and listening to me bitch and complain, help me cut weight, who came with me. I mean, on a free trip, it's not that bad, but, you know, buy them beers. And all of a sudden I'm broke. And we ended up staying, me and Joe and Yasubi Enomoto, we ended up staying an extra 2 days in Seoul. You know, we're planning on getting paid. So we wanted to like, man, go like see some shit, like eat some kimchi, eat some, you know, bibimbap, like go, you know, whatever, go out and have a good time. And we ended up staying there for 2 days and we're broke. And we're just like, you know, it was just really, you know, these guys put on a very good show. The show was great. Like the cage was great. The production was great. Like they put a lot of money into it. Like there was a lot of like really good fighters. Sure. They brought out Benson Henderson. They brought out Cyborg. So like, I'm excited, man. I'm so grateful to be there. I'm like, this show is so professional. Like this is the biggest stage I've ever fought on. Like this is like, you know, the best fight I had. I fought a really good guy and I won. I was loving life, like having such a good time. And then you feel really important, you know? And then afterwards they're like, well, we're not paying you. You just feel like nothing. You're like, man, I just came here. I fought my ass off for these guys and I'm just out in the cold and I end up getting sick. So I'm like in the bar, like sneezing and like, I look really stupid, but then I'm, you know, but I'm like, my pockets are empty. I was like, man, like this is like what, like a anticlimactic, like end to like such a great like time, you know? And, but so anyways, I'll get on with it. Obviously everyone's going to know I'm pissed, right? You don't even know how fucking angry I am. I mean, you could tell how angry I'll be, but so the guy tells me like, all right, we'll transfer 2 weeks, bank transfer, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, like what? Okay, cool. I get back to Phuket and sure enough, on the 14th day, they're like, well, we need your information again. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, they're just giving me the runaround. Like, why did you ask me a week ago? Like, but whatever. And on the 15th day, I actually got paid and I get paid in full. There was no funny business. There was no like taxes taken out. There was no like, you know, transfer fee that was on my end. Like I got paid in full. And, you know, I know quite a few guys on the cards like Raja Shippen, Yusuf Webby, Joe Ray. Like I knew a lot of these other people. I know Jesse Jess is managed by Danny Rubenstein, George's manager. So like we were all kind of in contact. We all knew each other. And I was getting messages from these guys and everyone's asking every day. And all of a sudden I get paid and they're asking me and I'm like, yeah, I got paid. And everyone's like, well, fuck, I didn't get paid. And I'm like, yeah, it was crazy. Like all of a sudden 2 weeks after the fight, now I'm happy to get paid. But then all my friends didn't get paid. You know, like those guys on the card, like those guys are all my, like I knew half the card, like maybe more than half the card. Like those guys are guys I know and guys I've trained with for a long time. And I know what it's like to you know, to spend all your money and really, really, really rely on that payment. So it was kind of like really weird. Like I'm not going to like, I'm stoked. I got paid. You know, I got paid what was guaranteed to me, what was signed in the contract. But then, you know, I'm also thinking about my friends and, you know, it's, of course I feel bad, but you know, what am I do? I'm not going to give the money back. Like, you know, I got paid and they didn't, but it's like a real weird situation because, you know, it just sucks. Like they use that to like whatever they wanted to do their advertising, do whatever. And now people haven't heard of him and it seems like the show is for sure not going to happen again. And, it was really like a mix of like really good and really bad experiences because again, I had a really great time and eventually I did get paid, but, yeah, it's just a real shit situation. So I kind of rambled on there, but,
yeah, you're in a shitty spot because like you just said that you have half the card, you know them. One of the guys is like really close to you and he didn't get paid or he hasn't got paid, right? And you got paid already. So you're like, there's so many mixed emotions with that. And it's almost like you kind of want to avoid even talking about it. So it's kind of cool that you're talking about it right now because really it's kind of like in the past now.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. Like, you know, when I seen some of the other guys, I seen them around, they're asking me, you got paid? I'm like, yes. And like, I shouldn't feel guilty for that. Like, that's not my fault. Like, for whatever reason, like I was on the list of people, they closed their eyes and picked and like, all right, let's pay this guy. And, you know, I was on the bottom end of the card. So I was a little bit cheaper than the other guys. So maybe they figured that we'll just keep a few guys happy or whatever it was. And of course, yeah, I feel bad, man. But, but none of my friends are going to look at me and be like, fuck you, man. You should like, you got paid and I didn't. Like, everyone knows like we work hard for this and at the end of the day it just is what it is. But yeah, shit situation. Like I wanted to go back there. Like Top FC is very Korean. Road FC is very hard to get into. Like we already talked about China. Like it's not my favorite place to go. It's not my favorite place to fight. Like I thought I really like was thinking this promotion. Like, you know, they told me like, man, you win, like we're going to bring you back. Your money's going to go up. Like, and I had a good performance and I was, you know, I was on cloud nine. I was stoked and I'm like, man, I'm going to go over there and go to Korea and be able to explore Seoul and all this kind of stuff. But
now you're back to China.
Yeah, which, you know, is what it is, you know. But
yeah. Battlefield needs to get it together.
I met with like me personally, I met with the people that run Battlefield before their first event, right? And I was because they're a new promotion.
You told me there. You told me you were like, yo, I don't know what's up with these motherfuckers.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when I met them before the event even happened, like I knew their little bit of history that they had. They had like another promotion called Octagon Fighting Championship, but they couldn't use that name or they just never had their event. Something went wrong with that. Probably most likely financially something was wrong, right? So they made a new name, which is Battlefield, which is actually a name for another promotion, but I don't know why they kept it. And then when I met with them and started talking to them and asking them like, you know, what's your guys' goals and stuff and like what are you guys doing? And
hey, were you speaking Korean or English?
I was speaking in English, but if they spoke Korean, I spoke Korean with them. But if they spoke English, and you know who speaks English at Battlefield Fighting Championship, you know who speaks English, right?
Yeah.
So what they were telling me is like all these things, like, you know, we're going to do this and we got this TV deal with NBC and, you know, like even Road FC didn't get their TV deal until like years later with NBC. And I was like, oh, you know, that sounds good. You know, what do I know about TV deals? I don't really know. So it sounds great. And I thought, man, that's really positive. And especially he was telling me like, we're going to pay the fighters really well and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's even better. You know, like, hey, if the pay goes up, that's better for everybody because the fighters will want to come back. You know, if the pay is just like whatever and the experience is shitty, they're not going to want to come back. But if the pay is good and the experience is shitty, they'll still come back because the pay is great, right? So I was like, yeah, you guys, you know, that sounds good, man. And that's why I was like trying to pump them up as much as I could. But then like you said, is just anticlimactic. And and yourself, you've got pumped up, right? They're like telling you all these things, and the show was good, and it was broadcasted on TV, and you know, and then
that's where it's just like it blows my mind the most is like exactly like you're saying is like you try to pump them up as much as you could before the show, and so did I. But then I'm like, their social media game was totally off. The name of their show was in Korean letters on Facebook, which is fine. It's a Korean promotion. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it's going to make it very difficult for anybody in the world who's not Korean to search it.
How did you guys find it?
I had somebody tag me in it, and I had to copy and fucking look it up. You know, like, more than half the car was foreigner fighters. You know, like, it just – a lot of those stuff, like, wasn't adding up to me. Like, what are their goals? Like, what are they trying to do? You know, which that's not my job. My job is go there and fight and make a good show and want them to have me back, you know. But it was just a very weird thing, like – it's funny, like you say, like I talked to you even before the show, like you and me were going back and forth, like we're trying to pump it up, but I was asking, I was like, hey, do you know how to do this or how to do that? You're like, man, I don't even know who's really in charge. So
you know, like
it's fucking weird, man.
Me as a like when I was doing the journalism for that at that time, like for a journalist, when a new promotion comes and then their goals are like to like make the market bigger, it's my goal is to kind of like maybe help them by pumping them up as much as I can, doing interviews and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just kind of like, I do stuff for them. The fighters come and do things. We make articles and announcements, and that's how the MMA world works, right?
Absolutely.
It's not like they're paying me to do it. I want to help them because why?
Absolutely.
They're new.
They need you.
Right? They give me access to information that
they need you. Yeah, they need you. They need you to profile the guys that are out there. They absolutely need you. And like for you to like you as a journalist and somebody who's like trying to put their stuff out there, like they sure weren't trying to help themselves. It's like
they didn't
crazy,
have,
man. Like
I told
they
them
they didn't post weight. Sorry.
Yeah. That stuff. They videotaped it all.
They didn't post weigh-in photos. They didn't post, like they'd randomly put up, Benson Henderson has arrived. And then there's no, like, nothing. Like, made it impossible for people to follow. Made it impossible for, like, the fighters from all over the world they brought in could have shared a link and boom, tens of thousands of eyes could have gone on. I mean, even with their real limited, like, promotion and limited, like, thought behind this, like, they put out, I don't mean this by any, like, saying this in any, like, weird way, but like they put out my fight on Facebook, and that video got 25,000 views. They put out another video of their fight. That video got 15,000 views. That video got 20,000 views. Like even without doing anything, they could have had good promotion.
Yeah, even like not even much money invested. If they would have just went on Facebook and even like a little bit of Twitter game and stuff like that, and I could have done that. I'm not even a promoter, and I know how to do that shit. And also And I asked them, you guys are going to broadcast in Korea, right, on NBC, and that's good. But what are you going to do internationally? I told them, like, you guys need to get on YouTube. That's the easiest shit. If fucking Thailand Fighting Championship, and, shout out to Will Chope, he's a very small promotion. And if they could get their shit out onto the YouTube live,
right,
and you guys got all this cash and all this, like, hoopla going around, why can't you guys do that? That's what I asked them, like, before the event started, because I asked them about the YouTube. They had no answer. Like, we don't want to do it.
Blows my mind. And all that shit's free. That's all free.
Exactly.
Right.
And that is like hundreds of thousands of views. Like
easy.
The sponsors, they get all that access too, because they're watching the mats, right? They're watching the cage, whatever. But anyways, let's move on from that, because we could do this all night, right?
Hey, for real, but look, I got paid, so don't come kill me, but.
Yeah.
Hey, a Jew's always going to get paid.
Maybe
it's hidden away under my
connection. But last week in China, since you're going to China, let's move on. Let's connect it to China. Kunlun Fight MMA 13 happened. Did you check some of that out, Alex?
Yeah.
Is that the one that Tetsuya fought on?
Yes.
You guys already talking about our boy Tetsuya? This fucking guy, man. Like, we had two people that fought on there, George. Y2K
Yes.
fought on there.
Did Y2K lose?
He lost.
He did?
What's
What
that?
happened? Y2K lost?
Yeah, he lost. I think, well, in Thai, it said that it was, I guess what he wrote in Thai was like he lost, but he didn't think he lost.
Yeah,
Maybe
because he
decision.
fought a guy that was 1-6.
What? I didn't even know that.
And he
Yeah, it
guillotined,
says right here,
your
the
champ.
guy that he fought was 1-6.
I'm gonna have to watch that video then.
Yeah, but Y2K, I think they went to a decision.
But
And
he
they gave
didn't
the
lose.
decision to the other guy, Wu. But maybe that
Yeah.
fight was changed. I'm not for sure. But yeah, Y2K, he fought on there. He lost. Tatsuya beat one of the best, actually, the lightweight champion.
Yeah,
but
I
it was
fought
in
him
the title.
before.
And this dude's internet is cutting out, I think, huh?
Me?
Yeah, no, my Wi-Fi went out, but it's back.
Yeah,
So
you're fine, Alex.
editing.
But it's all
Dude,
good.
I pay my bills. Hey, I pay my bills.
Yeah, my landlord pays my bills for the Wi-Fi, so I don't have to pay for that. But anyways, Tatsuya, like before, like they put.
Here we go again. He looked like he's like angry at us, huh? He's
Is
like,
he frozen?
"What are you guys doing?"
Yo, I'm so fucking angry right now.
I do like
I'm
angry.
irate.
I like Angry George.
It's all good. Let's keep going.
So, anyways, we have a chat that someone like put about Tatsuya, like, or they just threw like Wu Hailton.
Here we go again.
George, I'm gonna test your Wi-Fi really quickly. I gotta send you a picture on WhatsApp.
I think that
Yo, I
he's
swear to God,
angry
I'm very, very angry because like my brother's playing like the PlayStation. I feel like he's getting angry or something, and he's unplugging it. And I'm feeling very, very hot right now.
Yo, George, I
Anyway.
sent you a very important message. You gotta check your WhatsApp. You gotta check your internet.
Anyways, that made me laugh. But anyways, so hopefully this starts and you can edit all this out. Anyways, like Tatsuya has fought, I think, 2 times. Well, before this fight, like 2 times in the last month or month and a half. Like, what a ledge! Another guy from our most recent trout from 2016, and he fought Wu Hailton. So they put it on the chat, like on our sponsor fighters chat, like, oh, there's this fight available, da 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 da. And I fought Wu Hailton when I first moved here in 2014. Man, and he's tough. Like I won on a decision, and Tatsuya, like I knew he would beat him because the guy's ground game, like he's okay standing up, and his ground game is okay, but not.
He's gonna get pissed.
Angry George.
He's gonna be screaming at his brother.
I'm so angry. Like,
hey, there's no need to be angry.
yeah, but I'm just angry because my Wi-Fi is literally cut out 5
John,
fucking times.
It's what I gotta deal with every day, man. I come to the gym, I'm like, "Hey, George," and he just starts yelling and shit. It's just like, come on, man, lighten up.
Yeah, but Tatsuya Yamada, right?
Yeah, man. Yo, this fucking guy, man. Like, he's like, I mean, straight like Japanese, like humble, very quiet. I mean, anybody that like knows Japanese, like they're very, very modest, you know, like and extremely skilled, and they're just like super down to like. They're just nice guys, you know, like very humble. And this guy is so quiet, but he's a fucking killer, man. And over he's got an incredible record. We already knew that, but like he wasn't fighting, and then all of a sudden he's getting all these fights back to back, and then he's winning, and then takes a fight against a game ass opponent on a week's notice. He's like the first one to say, "I'm going, no problem," and goes there and gets it done. Like the guy's an absolute stud, man, and he's like the last one to like shout it out, you know. So I'm happy to shout it out for him because the guy's
He's
killing
a
it, man.
beast.
The guy's killing it. The guy's killing it. He's a beast, man.
Yeah, I wish that the other promotions would sign him. You know, like maybe he doesn't
Who
want to be
knows?
signed or locked down, but I wish one of these bigger promotions would sign him in Asia and let him fight for like a title or something. Since he does have a great record and he's down to fight whenever. Who doesn't like
believe he
that
was-
type of guy?
I
should
believe he
get-
was contracted to ONE FC, right? He fought one time.
I think one time is what he fought, but I would like to see him get in like Pancrase or somewhere like that and get like 1 or 2 wins and then get like UFC or Bellator or something like
Bro,
that.
hey, that Pancrase is the one thing good about Pancrase is that they're streamed by UFC Fight Pass. So
Right.
that's kind of huge for Pancrase fighters.
Oh,
Because if they get on there and they do their thing on there, like Ryzen's watching Pancrase very closely too to pick up fighters because a lot of Pancrase fighters go over to Ryzen also.
Yeah.
So
Or even him
Pancrase-
fighting and even him fighting in Ryzen, like I feel like they could, because Ryzen likes matchups. Like I feel like they could put him because he's a really, really good grappler. I feel like they could put him against like a good striker, and it could be like striker versus grappler in a really good matchup.
like Yachi, you know Yachi?
Yeah.
Yeah, like him. He's fighting Kitaoka, right? Kitaoka's like the OG lightweight. He's like the deep lightweight champion right now, but he fought in Pride and he's still throwing down. He's the one who tapped Crookshank at Ryzen.
Right.
He was getting his ass whooped by Crookshank. His ass was getting beat. And then he just came back and tapped Crookshank in like the first round, since the first round's 10 minutes, right? Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd like to see Yamada, your boy, go against like Yachi or somebody, like some youngster that,
Yo,
How
bro,
old is Yamada?
I think young. Alex, do you know?
26, 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's not old, man. And he's such a nice guy. Like, he's definitely not going to be the guy like talking shit or anything like that. He's the type of guy like you ride by on the motorbike and he barely he looks forward, but you can see his eyes roll over and then back. Like, he's just like such a humble, nice guy. He's a hard worker. Like, anything you tell him, he's just like, okay, just does it. He's just like a super nice guy. And he's an awesome training partner and, of course, a great fighter.
Hey, Charles Bennett also
wait.
lost too on this card. He got choked out by Balajing, who only had one pro MMA fight before facing Charles Bennett. You know Charles Bennett?
Crazy horse.
Felony.
No. We'll keep it at crazy horse, my friend.
Hey,
Oh, man.
he
Yo.
has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 losses in a row.
Oh,
And-
really?
Also,
yo,
and
I
he's
wonder-
only been went to
what do you
decision once.
What do
He's
you
been,
think a guy like that,
knocked out
what do you think he gets paid? What do you think he gets paid? Because he's a name, skill, whatever. He's like a real veteran that people know his name. Crazy horse. Jumps around like all these crazy fights, like does crazy shit. Like he had these big fights in Ryzen, and I'm sure Ryzen was cashing him up for sure, right? But then he goes then I'm wondering he goes and fights on these regional shows. Like he fought a friend of ours, Cody Stevens, in Ohio, and whatever Big Guns RFO. I'm always curious what that guy makes because it seems like he's just fighting for money. But what's his?
he's
what's
definitely
his,
fighting for money.
for sure. Yeah, no, of course. But is he fighting for real money or is he fighting for pennies?
I think it depends on what show he's in.
I think if he fights in the States, because I just had him on the podcast too recently,
Yeah.
and from what he was saying is his demand is not, they don't really demand him in the States, but when he
No.
goes fights abroad, like in China
Yeah.
or something,
For
or
sure.
in Japan, they really like him there. Like he's really
Absolutely.
popular. So I'm pretty sure he gets paid really well, in Asia. But if he fights in the States, I'm pretty sure it's not as much as people probably would think.
Shout outs to Crazy Horse just for being Crazy Horse and just
Yeah.
being crazy.
Oh, he's so funny, bro.
Yeah, he's
Like, how about-
he's the OG of the game, man.
Yeah, for sure. Even with the recent Ryzens, him and Vanderlei talking shit and stuff. What a ledge.
Hey, I'm
who
gonna
had the-
contact him and I'm gonna tell him to go to the next Tiger tryouts.
Yo, no, fuck that. Hey, we don't need it. Yo, you know what? You know what they should do in Ryzen? Yo, we should make this happen. Ramba Samdet versus Crazy Horse.
Are they
Yo.
the same weight?
Nah, no way. Actually, yeah, Ramba probably don't care, yo. Ramba's really a flyweight, but he'll fight he'll fight
Yeah, he
whatever. I
doesn't
don't think
care.
he gives a shit. But yo, these
John-
are two like real OGs. That's like the. Do you know who Ramba Samdet is?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't.
Yo, go look. All right, when we're done, go look up a highlight video. You're gonna
You put,
fucking love
like-
this guy, yo. This
You
guy
put
is
like Shannon, all the Evolve guys, like Shannon One Shin, like our tops, like all these guys to the side. Ramba is the original guy who fought like at Lumpini, Rajadamnern. He fought Muay Thai in the golden era, and then moved into.
Maybe if I see his face, I'll know who he is.
yo, but he's
I'll
the
tag you in
original
videos.
Thai. He's the original Thai MMA pioneer, and he lives in Japan for a long time. His record's like 20-5 or something. Like I might have made that up, but his record's really, really good. Yo, but he's crazy. Like he's not like felony, but like yo, he dances and does all this crazy shit in the ring. Like he'll do like the moonwalk in the middle of the fight and then punch you. But yo, he's a fucking his style is so dope. Yo, he should fight felony. That'll be so sick. He's older, like he's an older dude. They should fight each other. We should make that happen.
Oh, definitely. They should Charles Bennett. He's down to fight anybody if the price is right. He'll go anywhere. Hey, he took this fight on a week's notice.
Yeah, why not? He did that. What's it called? What's that called when they did the like Muay Thai with like MMA gloves that went down to their like Yeltsin Clyde did it. Who did that? What is that called, George?
In China, right?
Yeah.
No,
What was it called?
The
He did that
K1.
and got knocked out.
No, it was just recently. It was that new promotion, right?
Oh yeah, where you could
Yeah.
do submissions standing up but not on the ground.
Yeah, MLS or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Rama Samdit did that, or Crazy Horse?
No. Crazy Horse did it. He got knocked out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he got
saw
knocked
that. I
out.
saw that. Yeah.
Oh, yo. Okay. Hey,
Rama Samdit's record is 13-3.
What?
and he's
That's pretty
42.
good.
Yo, he's a real G. Yo, I'm telling you, you got to look him up, yo.
Yeah, he was born in 1974. He's 42 years old. He's 5'2". Last fought at flyweight.
Yo, he's fought deep Shudo.
His last fight was in 2015 in Shudo, and he won his last fight.
Yo, he's a real G.
Yo, shout outs to Ramba Samdit.
Oh damn, I don't know who that is.
Yo, you got to look at his highlights.
check him out.
The way he fought was so dope. Yo, so vicious. Yo, he's smarter than me, and he's like, he was so vicious, man. He was so dope. He's a real and he's a mad supporter of us. Me and George are both friends with him on Facebook. He likes all of our stuff. He watches Tiger. Man, I love that guy. I wish, man, I don't know. That guy's cool. That guy's dope, yo. He should fight felony. That'd be sick.
Maybe
they both are
maybe
famous in
someone's gonna
Japan.
listen.
Yo. They're both famous in Japan. John Nutt knows him. John Nutt knows him really well.
Do you know?
Yeah, but he lives in
also-
Pattaya now.
Also on the card was Jumabek.
Juma
Yeah,
Bek. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he got
Jumabek.
tapped out by the Russian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening though.
It was for the featherweight title.
Yeah.
Yo, I saw that dude fight when I went to go corner at Kunlun one time. When one of our fighters, I saw him fight. Yo, he knocked the dude out. I'm pretty sure it was Jumabek that did it, and it wasn't him that got it done to him. But he knocked the dude out with that toe stab like that George does, where you hit the guy with a liver kick, but instead of the top of your foot, you hit him with your toe, and they can't move. Yo, it's so badass, man. That was dope. That was
I
cool.
do that to Alex all the time.
You know,
Oh,
in China, it seems like I know everybody says this, but they have their fighters that they love, and they kind of just bring in guys that they could just beat their ass. And
yo, that's like we're saying about the shit going to China. You don't know if you're that guy, legit.
Right.
You have to understand that in your head. You're not getting any favors out there. You might be set there to go fight some dude he's supposed to knock you out. So.
Bro, I won the guy that we were just talking about, Tatsuya fought, Wu Hilton. I won a decision over him, and I literally said to the referee after the fight, before the decision, they said it. I was like, I literally looked at him and I said, I'm gonna get fucked, aren't I? And he was like, what? And I was like, I'm gonna get fucked, aren't I? And he was just like, and he didn't say anything. And then I won the decision. And I really honestly couldn't believe it. I was completely baffled.
no, but Li Peng Zhang, he's the former
Yes.
UFC fighter. He's the 170 champ for Kunlun Fight. He fought a dude that was debuting.
Yeah, I know. He's how many fights is Ling Peng? How many has he won now?
35 fights.
Yeah, but he's like
Yeah.
15 fights. He's got to be getting paid good.
Oh, definitely
Absolutely.
getting paid good.
Just
Yeah.
like Jing Peng Lee or whatever, the guy that was on the Ultimate Fighter like years ago that was the champion for a while. He's an actor also. Like, I know he was getting paid good because he came to Tiger before.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
there's a lot, but you know what's cool? That at least they're bringing in foreigners to fight though. Like they're not even just bringing in like white, like you know, just white people or black dudes. They're bringing in like Thai guys. They're bringing in guys from the Philippines. They're bringing in guys from. They're bringing in people from Brazil. You know, so, they're getting a good mixture. You know, like even there's like an African dude on the card. He was like
Oh, yeah.
9. So,
Yeah, every time I've gone out there, you see the people. You're like, "How did you hear about this fight? Like, how the fuck did you end up here?" You know, like, we live in Thailand. Like, we're pretty close. Like, yeah, you're right. Yo, you'll meet a dude from fucking Brazil who's like, "Yeah, they flew me the other day." But, yo, I'll tell you though, Chinese are probably some of the best matchmakers in their world because, like, you're talking about the guys they like. They want them to win. You know, they'll match them up against a guy who looks fucking scary or whatever the fuck, and you know the Chinese guys, you know, will tend to win. But hey, that's the fight game. I mean, if you think you're a bad dude and you want to go to China in the worst circumstances possible, I'm gonna fucking not have any sauna. I'm not gonna have my food, but I'll still go there and win. I mean, that takes some real shit, you know. So
all right, now let's move on to the Ultimate Fighter 25 finale. Okay, before we start talking about the main event, I want to talk about one of the Asian cats that fought on the card. The only Asian cat the whole weekend that fought was Teruto Ishihara, who is the Japanese dude that fights out of Team Alpha Male. The one that, you know, the one that's like very unique. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah,
because
he's the one. I love my bitches. That dude.
Yeah, I like him, bro.
Yeah,
I
of
saw him
course,
fight
everybody-
live in Japan. Man, I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's got style. You know, if he could speak English, I think he would be a much bigger star in the UFC. But anyways, he got that ass waxed by Gray Maynard. Gray
I
Maynard
didn't see
went
the
back
fight.
to his Gray Maynard went back to his roots, had to win, and he got that win. And the other dude had no answer for that. So
I didn't see it, but like, what's the leg lock guy? The
Ryan
jiu-jitsu
Hall.
guy. Like,
Ryan Hall.
yes, yeah.
Ryan Hall
So he fought Gray Maynard, and
last time.
if you remember that, Gray Maynard was like staying out of his guard, like didn't want to like get on top, like Red Hall's.
But he beat him striking too, almost.
Yeah, he beat him with like some crazy like taekwondo and like karate kicks.
Which is crazy because, what's his name? Teru or whatever his name is, the Japanese
Ishihara.
guy, man. He trains. Yeah, Ishihara. He trains with Justin Buchholz and like Team Alpha Male, man. Like, they got a shit ton of wrestlers over there, and like
That's what I'm saying.
high level guys. Like, I didn't see the fight, so you know, I don't.
Did he
really,
just grind him down? He just took him down, beat him up.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he called
like
out
Gray-
Artem Lubov.
I
Yeah,
guess.
nice.
That's
Yeah,
a good
man,
choice. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
for
he's
him.
more, yeah, he's relevant right now. You know.
And Ishihara is very close to being cut. They're gonna give him one more fight, most likely on that Japan card, because he's from Japan.
Yeah.
But if he loses that, it could be chopping block. He might be going to Ryzen or something. You know what I mean?
Because who did he lose to his last fight?
Artem Lubov.
Oh yeah. And I thought he was gonna beat him too. I had him
Exactly.
to win.
I thought he was
Artem-
gonna beat Gray Maynard.
Yeah, that's what sucks about Artem, yo. Like, you don't want to get matched with Artem because, like, his record is so 50-50, but, like, he'll fuck up your plans, you know? Like, yeah, like, yo, man, he'll just fuck up your plans. Like, yo, Shay was beating him for 3 rounds, and then, like, he's so tired, he's got his stupid hands down like this, throws an uppercut and knocks Shay out, yo. Like, he just fucks your shit up. Like, stay away from Artem, man.
Yeah, he's a weird like matchup for anybody. He's kind of like the Australian dude
Which one?
that Brunson just fought.
Oh yeah, the old guy.
Yeah, the old dude Brunson just
Oh,
fought.
that guy. You don't want to fight him either, man. Yo, this guy's like, yo, you don't want to fight that guy. What's his name?
I was so happy for Brunson.
Dan Kelly?
Daniel
Kelly?
Kelly, yeah, Daniel Kelly.
Man,
I
you don't
was
wanna
so
fight him,
happy
bro.
for Brunson. I told him,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, it's either gonna be a quick night or or you're gonna have to pack your lunch and you ain't gonna want to be there because that's gonna be.
Yeah, but in that fight, Daniel Kelly actually looked old. Like his other fights, he didn't really look old, but that fight
Yeah,
he
fair
looked
enough.
old. And
Yeah, because every fight is a grind with him.
Yo, that guy just kept on winning, man. I say keeps. Like I was gonna bet against him. I was like, yo, I don't know Derek, but I was like, yo, George, that's his boy. I don't want to bet against him, but this guy Daniel Kelly, he beats everybody he's not supposed to beat. You know?
that's what I'm saying.
Crazy.
But you know,
Yeah.
eventually you're gonna run into a reality check, and Brunson was the reality check. And for this Japanese cat, man, like I support him more than I support any other Japanese dude that's fighting because he has that personality that you
Yeah,
want.
he got
him to win.
swag.
And he got swag. When he wins, he does that little stroll and shit like, what's up, bitches, right? That's what he does.
Yeah.
So you want
That's
to
his
the opposite
social
too.
media. He's got. I follow him on Instagram, bro. I don't follow a lot of UFC fighters, but I follow him. Like he's got swag. Like he's a cool dude, you know.
Yeah. What about Jesse Taylor winning the 250,000?
Yo, he won like $280,000.
Oh,
Like,
290,000. It was
yeah,
290.
because it was 250 for the finale. Yo, this season I actually watched. George and John, I don't know if you guys watched, but
I watched
Yo, this
every
was-
one.
yo, redemption
did.
season. These are the guys that like you remember from the old seasons. Like that shit was dope. That shit was awesome.
The
Like,
only reason I watched the ones that Diego fought on because I'm gonna name drop. He's like one of my old training partners from Atlanta, and like you know, I spoke to like I knew kind of what was going on. Like I spoke to Douglas a bit after his last fight, and so I paid attention because of Diego, and you know I really wanted him to win, and
all right,
Alex
Sure.
and I were there like at the gym together, and I was training with Mallory because she got an upcoming fight, and saw that, and it was just like my brother and myself and Mallory watched it, and it was just like felt so bad for him because like he was
Yo, but
doing okay, and then
But it's a
yeah.
bad
I know
match.
that's your boy. Listen, I know that's your boy. But you remember who that Jesse Taylor guy is, George? Do you remember him?
I remember him from like the lunatic, like he's a lunatic.
Yes. You know, he was the guy who got to the finale and then hopped out of the limo, was like, I'm a UFC fighter, and got kicked out, yo. And this guy came back and won, like,
Yeah, good for him. Good on him, bro. Like,
Hey, if
yo,
you watch the season and you watch the episodes that he fought on, and he goes back to his town and he visits his kids, and you feel for him, man. Like you want him to win. You know, like
Yo.
you like Lima, he has his own gym. He looks, when you look at his like story, like his background on the show, he doesn't even really need to fight. You could kind of tell because he's pretty successful outside of actually.
I mean, that doesn't mean he don't want to win, you know, of course, you know, like.
He don't.
Yeah,
he,
but-
he wants to win, but I'm saying like Jesse's a guy that you could root for a little bit more because of his story, like his redemption, like you said, redemption, right?
Yo, he's another guy it's a bad matchup for a lot of people. He's
Yeah.
like a fucking wrecking ball. He's gonna take you down, no matter what. If it was pretty or not, he's gonna dive at your ankles. Like anybody that's seen any of his fight, he'll lie flat on the mat just to grab a leg, and he's fucking hard to deal with. Like
He has the ultimate ankle pick takedowns, man. And
I
Lima
like
caught
that. I
him
like the
too.
season.
Lima
I like the season.
shook him with that left.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he did.
He fucking
Fuck
rocked
yeah,
his
he
ass
did.
with that left.
Lima fucked up, yo. He went and fucking he could have stayed away and just got back to the feet. Fucked up. He kind of went for the head, but yeah, whatever. I mean,
Imagine
that was a
if
good
you,
season. I like
you know, you're gonna go cry at the hotel if you won 290,000, and you went through all that.
Yeah.
shit.
Fuck yeah.
hopefully they both get in.
I'm sure, bro.
Oh, I'm
Bro,
sure they will.
Is that 290 like a contract, like a
No.
like a?
no.
Is that
It was-
290 like the UFC fighter contract, or is that like
No, what they did is
190 for the fight?
they did it different. So they did like each fight. It was like 5,000 or 10,000 fight in the house because these guys were veterans. These guys aren't up and comers. All these guys have 25 pro fights. You know, like whatever. Like so each fight. So he had 4 fights. He got paid 10,000 a fight, and then that's 40,000. And the finale fight was 250. So he got 290. Boom, and then he gets the contract. So
Oh shit!
that
Dude,
talk about man, it's crazy. It's good.
Dude, talk
I wonder if
about
they'll give the
having
other guys
nothing to
contracts.
They should give.
Yeah.
They're gonna give him somebody good too, because they know that he can throw down. And man, he just goes in there and chokes the shit out of everybody and wrestles them to death.
Yo, he
fucking
makes
amazing.
me laugh. Oh,
Hey,
JT,
that's Tariq's boy.
JT money, bro.
Yeah, remember Tariq was saying that when he's because he lives out in
Safadine was
California.
talking about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, yo,
talking about him.
Hendo was in his corner, dog. Like, how could you not like this
Yeah.
guy? Like,
That's
How
right.
could you-
Hendo was in
Hendo-
his corner.
he had Hendo and someone else in his corner. I was like, yo, you know, all his boys are like these like fucking legends, and they're like, come on, Jesse, like get your shit together, like you beat us up, you gotta fucking do this, you know, like.
Yeah, that's
that
cool,
was-
man. What up? But
hey,
hey, what do you guys think about Gaethje?
Yo, beast. What
man.
a fucking legend. That guy's gonna make a lot of money in the UFC. Like, I don't necessarily like his style is like you know, like it's not great for his health, but man, what a legend. Like, that guy can scrap. He's tough as shit, and he never dies. And he's always in it. Like, he's the type of guy, like, it's almost like that Kelly guy or whatever from Australia, except a lot more dangerous. Like, you signed the dotted line to fight him, man.
Yo,
Whoa,
he's
got
18
a
and
crazy
0.
record fighting like that too. You know, he's
18 and 0 and like 15 or 16 finishes. Like, you
Knockout.
signed the dotted line to fight him, and man, you're like, oh shit, it is going to be a long night in the off.
I think he's the guy, like now in the lightweight division, where the dudes don't want to fight him.
No,
sure.
nobody wants to fight that guy.
Hey, for sure.
Nobody.
Bro, look at, like, no disrespect to any of these other guys, but look at some of the undefeated guys who have these really crazy records. They take you down and they stay on top of you and they win the fights like this. No disrespect, bro. Mad props. Like, I've done that shit too. This guy's got 18 wins with 16 knockouts. Like, are you fucking joking me? Like,
Right, and he can take you down if he wanted to and stay on top of you, but he doesn't.
unreal, dog. Unreal.
Yeah, he was an All-American, right? Wrestling.
Yeah, he beat my boy. What Alex knows, one of the guys that my buddy was just here training, who was a 2-time All-American at my college.
There was no wrestling in that fight. Fucking hell.
Right,
but
that's what I'm saying.
He's
Like,
All-American.
he's-
That means
yeah,
that
he's
he
an
could wrestle if he
All-American.
wants to.
If he
right,
wants to. He wanna
but
knock
he
you out.
throws straight fucking. Because, like, let's be honest, Michael Johnson throws heat.
Hey,
That
he
guy
has,
was
he has the
throwing
fastest hands He has the fastest hands, I think. Like, his
Yo, that fight
hands
was
move
that
so
fight was dope.
fast.
That fight was dope.
I don't know about fastest hands, but I know one thing: when he throws to take your head off.
Yeah, he throws heat.
That fight was dope, yo. He's a real fucking. I mean, he showed it. Obviously, Michael Johnson's top 5, ranked number 5. Like, he's a contender, legit, yo, legit, too legit. Hey, Conor, yo, that's right up there, bro. He's right in that conversation with Conor McGregor right now. Like, right now, that's dope.
Put him against Conor because his chin is good.
And what he says, like, did you see his post-fight interview? What his answer?
Yeah, bro. He's
dude. He's a
legend,
G.
man.
He's a straight G, dude. Like, he's like, I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna come at you. I don't care who you are. I don't care. I'll fight anybody. It doesn't matter. He's a G. Like, he's not even talking shit. He's just saying the truth, what he thinks in his mind. I love that, man. He's my favorite. He's like one of my favorite fighters already. But I knew he was good though.
Yo, he just beat the number 5, right? So where is he ranked? Number 5. Let's just say he's
5,
number 5.
yeah.
Okay, so who's the other guy they're talking about right now? It's Khabib. The two like guys, 24-0 and 18-0 now. Who would you rather see fight Conor, dog? I'd much rather see him fight Conor than fucking
hell yeah.
Then Khabib take him down and ground and pound him. Like, anybody would. You could sell that a million different ways to the moon and back for a much more dangerous fight. People understand that, yo. Like, yo, he's right in there straight away.
But the money fight is Conor's smart. The money fight is not Gaethje. It's
of course
Khabib in Russia.
the money fight's Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But he's coming back to MMA. It's Khabib in Russia. That's the money fight.
He'll get sorted out in Russia.
Yeah,
They'll sort him out.
Imagine Putin at the UFC event in Russia.
No, imagine Putin, Kadyrov, and whoever the president of Dagestan is.
In Khabib's corner.
And Trump, 4 of them.
Yo, he should do that. Trump.
Trump, Putin, Ramazan, and I don't know who the president of
and
Dagestan is.
Kim Jong-un too. Like, he's there just
and him as well. Just throw him in there for the hell of it.
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah, throw Rodman in there as well.
Yeah, that like they did that tough finale. They do it like the before the UFC 213. Like, yo, it was cool. Like, cause I mean, yo, we're in Asia, so we got UFC in the morning. It was a Saturday morning, and we're all training, and then like watching the fights in between. Like, I liked it.
That was cool.
It was good.
Yeah, I kind of like watching the fights in the morning, is because you could get it out the way and you could just go do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I feel you. But like drinking a beer and like having some chicken
Yeah,
wings watching fights, like
I miss watching the fights at night, kind of in America.
I
we did
guess
for the
so.
Singapore one. The Singapore ones, we watched them at my house. George couldn't; he was cornering, but we watched them at my house. Had some beer, had some wings, had some nachos. It was great.
I can see that point too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we're
you
gonna
know,
do.
you can't have everything in life, right?
Well, it could be worse, yo. People in England, the UFC is like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Oh,
At
fuck
least here,
that.
it's like
You're already like,
here it's like 9 a.m. It's like, all right, cool. Like I'll
I
watch
wouldn't
fights.
even watch it, bro. Like if I
Nah, no way.
lived in England, I wouldn't even watch it. I just
No
watched like the highlights.
Yo, John, this morning we watched and I made bacon and eggs. Yo, and that's not a bad way to watch UFC, but at 4 in the morning, you shouldn't be up at 4 in the morning.
nah.
You're doing bad stuff
Yeah.
But
or fun stuff.
let's move on to the big card. But it's not even the big card, man. I wish they would have had just Gaethje on this card and shit.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
letdown card.
You know, like that fight being canceled. What do you guys think about that? Because I know you guys are both, you guys know Shevchenko.
Yeah, we know her. We train with
You
her.
guys
Like
train with
everything.
her. And what do you think about this cancellation? Like, if you were sick the whole week, do you think that you should have even been there?
Yep. But I'm just gonna say we don't know all the details. But go ahead, Alex.
No, nothing. We don't know all the details, but on fight day, you can't fight. I mean, you got to give the opportunity. Like I know, like fighters want to say, "I'm gonna wait one more day. I'm gonna wait one more day. I'm gonna wait one more day." But when you pull out this late, you screw everything. You know, like she could have an opportunity to get a different opponent. I mean, Joanna Jacek said she would have stepped up. Which, by the way, real quick, I realized when I first heard that, hold on. When I first heard that Joanna she was stepping up and wanted to fight her, I was like, in my mind, I was like, yo, this is perfect for this girl. Because those who don't know, Valentina beat Joanna 3 times already in Muay Thai years ago. That girl is scared of Valentina. So for this girl, she knows she's not going to get the fight on a 10 hours notice. She knows it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, she took it short notice. She went up 2 weight classes.
No, it was going to be at 125.
How's that possible?
That's not possible. That's the thing.
Right.
That's
It's
what I'm
not
saying.
possible.
That's why, look, she knew it wasn't going to happen. That's why I'm saying this is bullshit. She wanted to be the one because look, now she's getting pressed. I heard her she's getting pressed before saying, I would have loved to take this opportunity. That was perfect for you because you knew it wouldn't happen and you don't want to fight Valentina. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
That's beautiful, though. That's great for her because he's taking an opportunity, and there's no like collateral damage to that. It's just like
you
her
can't
coming
hate
out
her
and
for
just
it.
getting free press and pup.
Yeah, absolutely, dog. Hell yeah,
It's lovely
absolutely.
for
I still love her. I still love her. Until she fights Valentina, I still love her. It's all good.
Hey,
Yo, she is such a badass.
I think that fight is going to happen in the next 2 years. It's at 125.
Absolutely.
Or we could see Valentina's sister, Antonina.
No, but she's bigger, isn't she?
I think
Yeah,
she is.
she's bigger, but she could maybe make the weight.
Because I read an
I think
article,
Valentina
I
does
read an interview with Antonina,
Or they could
and
switch.
she was saying that she's going to fight at 135, and Valentina's most likely going to drop down to 125 because she walks around at 135.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or you can see
Valentina's
that.
my
Is
size.
it,
I'm
you
a
know,
125er.
you guys been around her. They said that she was on weight for 2 weeks. She didn't have to cut any weight.
Absolutely.
I believe it. I believe.
She's my
Yeah.
size. Yo, I'm a flyweight. I'm a 125er. I train with Valentina a lot. Like when she's here, like we train a lot. Like we grapple a lot. I don't strike with her. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's a 125er for sure.
Yeah, that would be crazy to see her win the belt at 135 and drop down to 125 and challenge Joanna.
I think we see both.
That is a UFC wet dream right there.
Yeah, I think we see that, and I think we see her sister get in the UFC in the very, very near future.
For real. You know, Valentina, what makes her a G is that in the interview, they asked her, like, what do you – I know, but I'm just saying what she said because, you know, like her English is not the best, but it's very good.
Yeah.
But what she said was they asked her, like, you know, do you have a message for Nunez? She's a G, dude. She's like, I don't care. Like, I don't have no message for Nunez. Like, she's like, that's not exactly what she said, but she said something like that, like, I don't care. I just want to
Listen,
fight. I don't
listen,
have no message for Nunez. Like,
listen.
straight up G shit, dude. It's funny as
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it now. I'm probably gonna say it forever. Yo, if they made a movie about this, if they made a movie about a family of 4 people, 2 sisters, the mom, and their trainer who travel the world on the back of fucking motorbikes and go spearfishing, our world champion Muay Thai fighters, our world champion pistol shooters, are some of the nicest people you've ever fucking met, and then all becomes a fucking UFC world champion, you wouldn't believe it. You'd like, nah, that's not true. Like, that would never happen. That's their life. This girl is a fucking superstar and a fucking comic book character. Yo, I love it. Yo,
They're nomads, bro. And we, like, Valentina trained at Tiger before she made it into the UFC. Like, you know, we've been there. Like, we haven't been there since the beginning because the girl's been fighting, you know, since the beginning of her time. But, you know, for the last, like, 4 years or 3.5 years, whatever it's been, like, they've trained at Tiger most of the time. And, man, they're just, like, really – they're an awesome family. They do their thing. They're a tight-knit family. But she can shoot the eyes out of a gnat. All of them, I should say, can do that. Obviously, we know what happened, you know, when they were in Peru that one time. And – she came back and fought 3 months later and won, and Pavel was there. Like, they're just like, man, it's just crazy, like, to see, like, how good she's progressed. Even, like, think about when she first got into the UFC, her first fight. Like, no one knew they didn't know who she was. She fought the Canadian girl, the Olympic wrestler. What was her name?
Sarah
McMahon?
Yeah. She was the underdog. Won convincingly. And then you just see from there, man, it's something else. And
hey,
then now,
did she ever tell you what really happened in Peru? Maybe I should ask her when she comes on the podcast.
Yo,
you should.
Yeah.
No, but I remember, yo, that's honestly, and this is like a kind of a side note about her, but like, yo, this girl, we've known her for years, right? Again, not from the beginning, but known her before she was really focusing on MMA and all this kind of stuff. One of the nicest people ever. And she doesn't forget anybody. Like, after that happened, like, we hadn't seen her, like, in a few months. And she was in Peru, and her trainer, Pavel, got shot, and she's about to fight. And I send her a message, and she's probably got a million things to worry about. And what does she do? She responds straight away, hey, I'm okay.
Right.
Thank you, guys, thank you. Anytime, at least for me, I'm sure George talks to her as well, anytime we message her, she is responding like she hasn't even missed a step.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Talk about, like what that shows about her character. I mean, it's fucking – it's –
yeah, they're like her coach, her sister, her mom. They're all.
Yo, today should have been her day. That really sucked.
Yeah.
It really sucked.
It should have.
To go back to that, you know, like.
It just delays shit for her, you know.
Right.
It just delays shit, and that's just. You could tell how ready she was. You could tell by all the videos, like all the pre-workouts. You could tell, like. She was so focused on just going in there and destroying Nunez. Like, that was the only thing on her mind. Like, there was no, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to fucking –
you know what? And maybe Nunez, like, maybe she wasn't that sick. Who knows? Like, maybe she was sick as could be, or there was a big problem no one knows about, or maybe there was, you know, she just wasn't feeling 100 and she knew she had to be 100 to fight against Valentina. So
Dana White came out and said that she was medically cleared. The doctors said that she was okay.
Yeah, bro. If you're medically cleared, then yeah.
Hey, Dana White kind of threw her under the bus, though. You know, like, coming out and doing that interview, like, she was medically cleared, but she said she don't want to fight. Like, you know, you could kind of keep that behind doors, man. Like, you could just kind of be like, yeah, she doesn't
don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on fully with her. You know, but they had to go out there. And did you see, like, the article where they said that, like, the suspicion, right, that Dana White's new, like, close friends are TMZ? Did you see that article? Like, somebody wrote that he sends them information and they release, like you know, information through that way. That's what they said. I'm not saying it's true. But
I'm sure it is.
TMZ was the first ones to release that news.
Yeah. I
So
mean, yeah, it just sucks all the way around, But
yeah,
it's what it
and
is. She's like,
but she said
get
like,
on
I
with
don't
it.
have no message for you. Like usually the other fighters would be like, oh man, that sucks. But I can understand how pissed she was, man. I would be pissed. Like you've been training for that
Think
long.
about the payday. Think about the payday. How much money she lost out
I'm
on.
sure they took care. I'm sure they took care of her.
Yeah, of course they took care of her, but think about her winning the belt.
Of
That's
course,
the
of course,
payday.
of
Yeah,
course. You're
man.
right.
Like that feeling
Sucks.
of winning the belt on the
The
biggest weekend
feeling
of
of
the year,
winning the
basically.
belt, the contract you get put on for winning the belt,
Yeah.
the sponsorships that come with the belt, all of that.
Yeah. No, it's a real shame, man. Man, main event. Like my
Man,
dad
they
is
took her
messaging
day
me like
from her.
my
Or
dad's
Lieutenants
messaging me,
took
being
her
like,
day.
"Yo, what time's Valentina fighting?" Like that's
My
cool.
dad too. He's like, hey, that Shevchenko girl's fighting, ain't she? I was like, yeah.
No, my dad's been watching all the countdowns. My dad, he's like all up on it. He loves it.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
look at that. Hey, look. Hey, on, look. The two dogs are gonna fight.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh shit.
Oh, you can't see him.
Yeah.
Hey. Yo, he just ate a snail. Hey, Tofa.
He just ate us. It's his dogs.
Yeah, bro. His one dog Rufio is the worst.
Man, I can't have a dog, man. They're just too
I can
much
have a
problems.
dog, but his dog is just like not a cool dog at all. Like his dog is so uncool.
It's
Oh shit.
ruthless.
That dog just ate the snail out of there, yo.
No, his dog sucks.
No, it wasn't. What the fuck did you just say about my dog? No, that was Oom's dog that did it.
Yeah, her
Someone just
dog
ate
is
a
cooler.
snail.
Hey, what do you guys think about the Romero and Whitaker fight?
I think man, I thought
They should give Romero a belt for doing 5 rounds, yo, because that shit was awesome. Like,
yeah, but he should invest in a new strength coach. But I think that obviously my pick last week was John. I wanted Romero to win, and I thought that he would win because he's got that, like, even when he was dead tired, man, he could still get out of the way of shit. Like, he's that athletic. He's like ridiculously athletic. He needs to
But,
invest in a new strength and conditioning
Yo,
coach.
but when he was
how about
dead tired, he was
Whitaker?
getting out the way like a drunk dude gets out the way in the street. Like
yo, shit was
Yeah.
go. He's like, that shit was
Yeah,
no, shit.
but still, like, his athleticism showed like through the whole fight. But obviously, man, I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I thought Whitaker won the second or the last 3, which I think a lot of people would have said that. But I think that Whitaker was a more conditioned athlete and did the better job. And
You know what I thought it really showed off, honestly, was Whitaker's takedown defense.
yeah,
Holy shit.
that as well.
Holy
yeah.
shit. Time
'Cause
after time.
Even
Man.
when Romero got him down, man, he didn't do anything with the takedown. He got him, he would control him, be around his waist, but nothing happened after that.
Hey, yeah, I thought Whitaker, he won the fight. If you judge it that way, I don't think that there was too much damage that was being done on either side, to be honest with you. But if you're talking about who won and who lost, I would give it to Whitaker. But what do you guys think about Michael Bisping ripping up the Cuban flag and throwing it at Romero?
I think it's ridiculous because Michael Bisping loses to the top 5 or 6 in that weight class.
But what do you think if like somebody ripped up the American flag and threw it at somebody that's American? Think of it like in that situation.
If someone ripped up the American flag in America, then there would be like
That's against the law.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, like, I think if Romero sees
No, he
Bisping,
was
he'll
pissed.
probably-
Like someone asked, like,
Ariel
that girl,
Helwani asked him.
Ariel Helwani, the girl reporter,
The guy, yeah.
the girl reporter. Yeah,
The guy.
he's a
Hey, don't
guy.
talk about Alex's people like that.
He's a guy. But Ariel Helwani, the girl from The Little Mermaid, he asked Romero, like, hey, what did you think about, Bisping ripping up
Yeah.
and Romero looked
And he
like
was
he was about
tight.
to kill Helwani.
Yeah, bro. If he sees Bisping, he'll probably slap him. And there's honestly, other than Bisping jabbing him to death, there's nothing he can do. Like, if Bisping fights any of the top 5, 6 guys, he's getting smashed.
Do you think
Like, and I
Bisping was
like
kind of
Bisping.
relieved? Do you think he was relieved that
Yes, because
Whitaker
he's
won?
got a better shot. Yes, he's got a better shot against Whitaker, in my opinion, than he does against Romero.
I don't know. I think that he shouldn't disrespect like the nation's flags and shit like that. I don't
No,
think
I,
that's
I,
cool.
I
You can
think
talk
that as
shit,
well.
but
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
no, no. I agree. And like I've said that to a lot of like Americans, like now that, and I'm sure Alex would agree, like now that I live in Thailand and like, other than Alex, most of my friends are from the England or Australia. I understand like UK humor, and like I don't feel the same way as I did when I first moved here about Bisping. Like I like him, but I also understand like, man, like that's that's a flag. Like you don't rip it up. Like I would never rip someone else's flag up or diss their culture or their nation. So
Yeah, I thought like this card was terrible. Like I didn't think that because if you look at the card, decision, majority decision, and then like later on the fights get better when the undercard dudes fought, but I didn't feel like these guys were going for it as much. And the
Yeah, it was
reason
kind of
why
weird.
it's a disappointment is because Shevchenko and Nunez didn't fight. And I think that made this card so terrible because that fight was pulled from us like at the last minute, basically,
It's the
right?
main event. It's
Yeah,
the main event.
and I thought, man, that made it kind of like anticlimactic. The fights weren't like the best, but they were still competitive. Like all the fights were competitive.
Right.
It's not like I was like booing or anything like that, but having like Shevchenko and it just shows you how the women have come in the last few years, dude. Like how popular they have become and how great the fights have been to where like you and me are waiting for these girls to fight each other, man. That's fucking nuts, right? But before we go, I wanted to talk about Brian Stan, dude. Brian Stan did 2 events in 2 days. Did you know that? Commentating?
yeah, he's a beast.
Dude, that's crazy. You know how much studying you have to do to be able to commentate like basically
That's the
30
thing.
fights? That's 60 fighters.
Right, but that's the thing about Brian, like, because I know him, he like me, I would just be like, oh yeah, and I'd be like out hanging out, like I would know like half the guys and like seeing half the guys fight, but man, Brian is like, I can honestly say he's like one of the like most genuine, most 100% people I've ever met, and he's the type of guy that he'll be when everyone else is hanging out having some drinks. Brian's the guy that's at the room, like watching film and all these guys to make sure not only that he calls the fights the right way and knows about all the fighters, but also to make sure like he gets their stories out there and like really knows them. Like it's just the type of guy. It's like a testament to his character, and the guy should run for president.
For sure. Yeah, but anyways, like next weekend is pretty busy in Asia. We got on Saturday, we got Road FC 40. We have Deep Cage Impact with a couple title fights in Japan. Also in Japan, there's Heat 40. And on Heat, there's like 5 title fights on that shit. So it's a pretty crazy card on Heat. And then this weekend is UFC 1 Fight Night 113 with I think Gunnar Nelson is headlining that one. So there's a lot of action this weekend.
And
Alex, where are you gonna
Invicta
be?
next weekend. Invicta next weekend.
Oh yeah, George is gonna
I'll
go to
be
this in the States.
first trip back to America in 3.5 years, and our girl, Alex and I's girl, is going to be fighting Mallory Martin, and she'll be getting the win.
And Alex, where are you gonna be?
Next week.
Yeah.
I gotta hold down the fort, man. I'll be in Phuket. I gotta get ready for my fight. We got a lot of guys getting ready. So yeah, it's like one person goes out, the other's here just doing work. So
When you fighting in August?
August, like the last week, like 24th or 5th. I'll find out pretty soon.
All right.
But
Well,
end of August, we couldn't even talk about this, but I'm actually gonna fight a month later at Thailand Fighting Championship. So
also they're
shout
having
out
their
Solo
next one in
Choke.
September.
Yep.
they're doing one in September
On
up
TV.
in Hua Hin. And again, I'm stoked to go fight
Hey, I
over
think
there.
that's breaking news because I don't think anybody knows that they're having a card in
All right,
September.
well then maybe edit that out. But
Nah, it's all good, baby. It's
Hey,
talent.
anyways, then we'll
I don't think we're
definitely
gonna
have you
ruin this
back
fight.
on. We'll have you back on before
Easy.
your fight in August because
Fuck yeah.
you know you have great stories and you could talk more about China. You know,
Homies.
because since you're gonna
Easy,
go
bro.
back
Sounds
there,
good.
and
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was a good
Awesome.
one. And George, safe travels to the motherland and back.
I'm not looking forward to it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Mallory smashing it up, but that flight is long, so I'm not looking forward to that.
Well, at least you get to meet that the in-cage interview chick. She's not bad, man. For Invicta.
Well, I'm sure I'll see her when I get there.
All right. Well, Alex,
Awesome.
thanks for coming on, man. You always good to talk to you. And
Thanks again for having me. Talk to you
yeah.
soon.
Peace.